It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey, guys. Welcome back and happy Wednesday. All right, guys, so you know what that means, and I'm so excited for this live because I've been saying it all week that we have another big announcement that we'll be sharing with you guys. So in the meantime, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And yeah, let's welcome Zach. We're waiting on Emily. Emily should be joining us here in a little bit, and we have her for about 30-40 minutes. So we're going to bring her on. We're going to talk some Real Housewives of New Jersey. And then as we get through the recap, we will announce our big announcement. All right, let's bring up Zach. Hi, Zach.
Hello. Hi.
Okay, let's see who's in the room. Guys, 150 in the room to start. Yay. All right. Zach Pack, I love that. Now I need the Addams family, but like Emily said, I don't know if you can coin that. I like how you're coming in repping your side. Guys, we have a joke on this tour. Zach and I were talking about the people who are coming from the Zach Pack and the people who are coming from over on my side. You're not getting an echo still, are you?
No.
Okay. The people who are coming over from our side, the Addams family, Addams Angels, whatever you guys want to call yourself in the community, we were thinking about wearing colors to see, but then I don't want to like split us all up. I feel like that, I don't know. So we're going to have exciting stuff for people to kind of just come and support all of us. We'll do that. All right.
Yeah.
So Zach, you watched the episode last night. What did you, if you could rate it from a 1 to 10, what would you have given last night's episode?
I would probably give it an 8. I think it was a great episode. But like we spent so much time on like these filler scenes rather than jumping deep into like the meat of like the Margaret versus Jennifer stuff that I wish we would have, gotten more of like that beef between Margaret and Jennifer and Jackie that we got at Dolores' house.
Right. And I was kind of surprised as, we saw this on last week's episode, but when Margaret calls out Jennifer on this, Jennifer immediately owns the cheating allegation because it's not an allegation. It actually happened, but she owned it right on the spot and almost kind of clapped back with, it wasn't an office manager, it was a pharmaceutical rep. And like, just kind of like clapping back. And I was like, whoa, that is a great way to come in and own it. Even though this is hurting her, she definitely did the damn thing. I mean, that's a hard pill to swallow.
It is. I like that she owned it. I like that she didn't try to hide. But I mean, at this point, like when you know that it's true, you can't really deny it because it's out there at that point. So for me, I love that she owned it. I love Jennifer. I love her for her messiness. I love her when she's sloppy and drunk on, the concrete floor, guzzling a bottle of water. But I do think that like she finally got a taste of her own medicine and she rightfully deserved that considering how much she's dragged so many of the other women and their husbands in the past.
Absolutely. And Jennifer obviously was very visibly upset and she feels like she can't do this. So she decides to get her husband, Bill, and she's like, you know what? I'm leaving. He's like, do you want to tell Teresa goodbye? She's like, I don't. And before she says goodbye, she was at least able to have a conversation with Jackie for a second. And Teresa pulls her over and she says to Jackie, like, listen, I don't know why you're mad at me. One thing that I'm not understanding here, though, from Jennifer is you have to know why the girl doesn't like you. You all ream each other. I could see all of them, if they came up with a reason why they did not want to be friends with one another. I'm like, one's calling the other one a crook. You're calling this one a snake. You're accusing this one's husband of cheating. You're looking for information on this one's husband. You guys are all wrong.
No, exactly. Like, I mean, talk about the pot calling the kettle black.
It's crazy. It's wild to me. But this wasn't my favorite part of the episode. Honestly, a lot of people have been giving Giudice a lot of crap because they feel like she's stepping into a big girl role. And she came in this episode like, I'm an adult. And I was like, whew. When I saw the preview, I just wanted to see more. And guys, if you did not catch it, here's Giudice. She looks absolutely beautiful. She's stunning. But when Joe Giudice is talking about these, it's technically Louis Ruelas, situation. If you guys didn't catch the episode, let me just kind of explain what happened. And I will give you a tidbit really quick. Louis Ruelas, there was a video that surfaced that everybody thought was a little bit creepy. In this video, he went to kind of like an adult warrior camp where, you know, they allegedly break you down for not treating your spouse or your girlfriend or your wife, or maybe even your husband or boyfriend, I don't know, you know, correctly. So what they do is try to bring you back and, you know, make you humble. Try to tear you down as much as possible so you realize what you have in front of you is a good thing, and you need to kind of appreciate that. So in this video, a lot of people found it creepy because everybody except for the coach was undressed, and they're deciding to run with this as a storyline. Now, when the house husbands of New Jersey, which by the way, I can always appreciate the house husbands because they are the only husbands in any of the Real Housewives franchises that are actually paid. So I like that about them. When this comes up at their Atlantic City show, their comedy show, Joe Gorga actually says, you know, I've never missed my brother-in-law so much. So now he's feeling a little bit awkward about facing Louis because Teresa made a phone call and she's like, you hurt his feelings. You hurt his feelings. You shouldn't have said that. And now Louis is uncomfortable. So Joe's like, between Gia, between Louis, Teresa, this whole family, I can't do this anymore. I've been doing it for 20 years. Do you think if you were Louis, would you have been pissed off with the way that Joe Gorga clapped back at this at the comedy show, or would you have understood it's a comedy show?
One, it's a comedy show, and two, like, you're dating Teresa Giudice, and let's be honest, you're dating Teresa Giudice because you like that there's a little bit of fame that comes attached. Like, listen, she's a great woman. You know, I would probably give her Kristen Takeman's tagline from Real Housewives of New York. You know, I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm pretty. So I think Louis definitely sees she's a gorgeous, ambitious woman. But he obviously, the fame and the television come with it. And with fame and television comes public scrutiny, comes criticism. You're going to be in the public eye. Her brother and her sister-in-law are also on the show. So your conflicts are going to be brought up for public subjectification. And then when we're at a comedy show, like, come on, it's not that serious, you know?
I agree with that. It's not that serious. I mean, and you were the one who participated in this. You're the one who recorded the video. So if it comes up and all of a sudden resurfaces, I'm sure when you made the video, you weren't anticipating being with Teresa Giudice. But if it comes up, listen, you kind of got to own it. Jennifer Aydin's over here owning her husband's infidelity. Louis, you made a creepy kind of video. Here it is. Here's him in the video. But for those of you who haven't seen the video,
baby. Own it.
For those of you who haven't seen the video, we have over 300 in the room. Smash that like button. I'm going to play the video for you really quick. That way you can see it and you know exactly what we are talking about. Well, hold on. Let me bring it back up. In the meantime, Zach, did you think the video was as creepy as they were portraying it to be?
I didn't think the video itself was creepy until we got more details from Margaret in last night's episode about how the retreat itself was a lot more, like, I think in the context of like realizing like they're beating each other down and berating each other and beating each other off. Like, once you get all of those details about this retreat, then yes, it absolutely makes it a lot more like creepy and cringy. And like, I don't know, that's not like an orgy that I would want to sign up for.
I mean, I don't think they're actually beating each. I think that's like, I think they decided to run with that part. But then who knows?
Who knows?
We don't actually know. Okay, let's play the video so you guys can make your own opinion. Here we go. Thank you to the_Bravo_chicks for posting the video.
See you to get engaged or bring our family together and finally get married and have a life together. I've been here for a week. These are my brothers. These are my bond. These are my brothers. This is my coach, Kevin. These are guys that are very unfamiliar in my life. I love you, and I love our family together. I love our children, and I hope you receive this message well. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for your time. I hope that this hits your heart well and you understand where I'm coming from, and I hope to come home to you and be able to have a chance and opportunity to talk to you and share with you my experiences in my life.
You gotta talk from the heart. You go back to your fucking brain. She doesn't want to fucking hear your brain.
I love you. I'm sorry I made mistakes and held myself back and held my truth inside.
You better fucking
and
feel her pain.
worried about other people around me.
Feel her
pain. I feel your pain. I'm sorry I put you through pain. Thank you for being patient with me and seeing the man that I didn't see, that you see, and you saw me.
What are you gonna do about it?
I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna come home and show you and prove to you the man, the best version of myself that I am right now.
You heard that before. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna take action as soon as I get home.
You're saying beautiful words. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to propose to you and get married, if that's okay with you. I love you.
At least there was consent, right?
Let me cut this off. Okay.
At least he was like, there was consent at the end about the marriage part.
I mean, okay, so that's your takeaway out of this? Like, and it was kind of creepy. It was like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna be better?
I would probably classify it as more cringy versus creepy. It just, I don't know. I've heard about these retreats before, though, and I have friends that have gone on these retreats, and they're becoming more and more popular. I don't know if they're like as specific as like what's going on here, where like they beat you down, but like I've heard of these like men's retreats where all the men go camping together and they get very vulnerable and they get naked and they, are trying to get more in touch with their manhood. I mean, that also happens at like some of the Los Angeles bath spas. Like men get very vulnerable and in touch with themselves there as well. So I've heard of these things. It's very LA and very woo woo. But I mean, if Louis doing it in Jersey, again, I would classify it more as cringy than creepy.
Okay. And you know what it kind of reminded me of? Do you remember when the Kardashians pranked all of those, like they pranked different celebrities and they all kind of stood there in the FaceTime and they were staring at the people that they were calling, and the people would be like, what's going on? It reminded me of that with the guys in the background, like staring, like, I'm like, what the hell is this? But okay. So now getting back to it, Joe's obviously very uncomfortable at the party and he's talking about, people, when things get out there, whatever, they're just kind of going on. And Gia interjects, but not really. She's talking to her mom and she's like, this is why people shouldn't get in other people's business and talk about stuff that doesn't really pertain to them. And then Joe looks at Gia and he's like, Gia, what are you talking about? What are you running your mouth about over there? And she checks him, which I was a little shocked. And she's like, don't disrespect me. I'm an adult. You're not going to talk to me this way. And he's like, who raised this kid? Who raised her? This is ridiculous. And my kids would never talk to their aunts or uncles like that. And then he gets up and walks away and she's like, you're always looking to make a scene. My God, what's going on? I'm like, I'm kind of here for Gia as the honorary, like, extra member of the group.
For the show, yes. For the family, no. I love like her addition on the show, her bringing some of the drama, her having hot takes and opinions. I didn't love the way she spoke to her uncle, though, because I still think like, yes, you're a woman, but like what you just, you just became a woman like last year. Like you're still young. You should still have some authority. Like I understand if you're like 30 or you're, 40 and you get into a tiff with an uncle or an aunt. Like at that point, I feel like it's a little bit different. Like there is still a level of respect that you should have. But at that point, like you're a full grown, fully baked adult. You've seen some life. You've had a baby. You've had, life has beaten you up a little bit and you kind of are on an even playing field. However, she's still very young. She acts like there is a level of maturity that she has for sure, but I think she still acts like she's 16, like she has that teenage like attitude that I don't really love. I didn't like the way that she spoke to her uncle. I get it. She's upset about what her uncle has said about her father, and Joe shouldn't be saying those things about Joe Giudice. But at the same time, it's like, I think Teresa should have stepped in, since Teresa's all big about the family and respect and you stick with your blood and all of that stuff. Then I think in this sense, I love the way Melissa stepped in, but I think Teresa should have been the first one to step in and be like, hey, let's have a little respect for your uncle. I understand that you're not happy about what he said about your father, but that's still your uncle and you still need to have respect.
When Melissa came over and she's like, Gia, that's your uncle, and he can't believe you're talking to him like this because he loves you so much. And she's like smiling like this. And she's like, and you're smiling like right in his face. And she's like, don't aggravate me. Don't get me aggravated. And she kind of checks her and you see Dolores's face and like the other women. I'm like, this is like a little whole.
Dolores and Teresa would have got checked for speaking to their uncle like that.
I mean, definitely this is kind of beyond. But at this point, I'm trying to give Gia a little bit of grace here because she grew up on the show since she was 6 or 8. The show's on season 12. I'm guessing it was about around the time she was 7 or 8 when they actually started filming the first season. And growing up on the show, the cameras have been in her life her whole life. Her mom's gone to jail. Her dad's been deported. It's all been public scrutiny. She doesn't go to a private school, I don't think. So, like she still went to regular school. She was a cheerleader. She's going to college. I'm sure she gets a lot of people who feel like it's, funny or cute to chime in on her situation. So she's probably sick of hearing from it from outsiders, that so much so that she doesn't want to hear more scrutiny from inside the family. And she made a great point too when she was talking to Joe, and she's like, this is my sisters too. I'm trying to protect my sisters. They have to listen to this.
I get it. I don't love that Joe Gorga speaks poorly of Joe Giudice so publicly. I understand, but at the same time, it's like the way Gia and Melania are all sticking together and backing each other up is the way Joe Gorga feels like he's backing up his sister Teresa when this guy has treated her badly and sent her to prison, So I think that there's a common ground that they could come to in terms of understanding each other, because, it's very multi-layered. It involves the parents, it involves the siblings, that I think there is common ground that we can come to. But I think Joe is such a hothead and Gia is still so immature and, just not fully developed yet, that I think they're both clashing heads because they're very similar in a lot of ways.
Right. Okay. Well, we need another opinion. And we did say that we were going to be joined by Emily D. Baker. We have Emily D. Baker in the room along with all of the amazing law nerds. So thank you all for being here. We're going to welcome up Emily. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. 500 in the room to kick us off. Hi, Emily.
Hello.
Hi.
You guys are talking about my Gia, and I am ready to have this conversation.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm ready to have this conversation.
I need to
Emily,
know.
If you come for me, I will send Jesus after you.
I mean, she didn't send Jesus after me.
It's not like Heather McDonald, because Jesus came for her a little too strong.
Did you? That first
Did
of all,
you see the video?
I know.
She's iconic for posting that video. It's iconic.
I know.
The timing of what she said, and she's like, I've got my shilling shot, my vaccine, I got this, and this. And she's like, and Jesus loves me. And then she goes, boom.
Yep.
And I was like,
don't play with Mary's church. Adam, you better watch your back. Listen, I'm ready to give Mary a check with my mortgage. I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I got
take my money.
Maybe that's why I got food poisoning. I don't know. Okay. Okay. All right. So Emily, you're saying don't come for your Gia. We've got to hear your side of this because Zach feels, and I'm kind of trying to play devil's advocate here. My take on this is Gia has watched her family go through so much, and she is kind of sick of hearing from it on the outside, so much so that she doesn't want the people who are closest to her to be doing that, because then she kind of can't escape it.
Here's why Gia's right. Gia's right. Gia has had to be the adult in this family with a bunch of codependent adults who can't get their shit together. And she has had to be the rock in this family. And her uncle is acting like an ass. And here's the thing, Gia is right to check him and say, look, your issues with my dad are not for you to bring up with the kids. It's like parents who are getting divorced who air it all in front of the kids. She's right to set a healthy boundary, and he's not listening to her. So I think she was right to check him, because this isn't the first time this conversation's coming up. If this was the first time this was coming up, I'd be like, Gia, the sass, like, you're 20, girl, this is an Italian family, sit down. But she's like, I see her point when she's like, I'm sticking up for my sisters, and you don't get to just, dunk on my dad all the time. We're still a family, and I'm done. I'm an adult now, and I'm done. My dad's made mistakes. My mom's made mistakes. You've made mistakes. And so Joe's hurt doesn't need to be vented to the children. Joe's hurt needs to be vented to a fucking therapist. Go to therapy, Joe.
Go to
a therapist. Gia's not your therapist.
And Gia's
I agree. No, I agree with Emily in the sense that I think Gia, yes, should absolutely do it. What I don't like is how she did it. I thought it was a little disrespectful considering it's her uncle. I understand where she's coming from, but I don't like her approach and how she decided to do it.
She feels disrespected. So that makes her hot too. She's like, I feel disrespected too.
Niece.
But I do have to
here's
say
the thing,
this.
a 20-year-old woman, I love seeing a 20-year-old young woman saying, you're not going to talk to me like that. I am from a generation of women that were told that we needed to be quiet, that were told that we needed to be more respectful. And in my 40s, I'm not fucking here for it anymore. So when her uncle was being disrespectful to her, I don't think she should have brought that first, but I don't think she brought it first. That's all. But I get it. In a family setting, a lot of families are like, that's disrespectful to your family, but your family's not allowed to cross your boundaries. And Gia's like, my boundaries being crossed and I'm not bending for no man. And I'm like, get it, Gia. I need a spin-off show. I need you to tell young women how to live their life and look at other 20-year-olds and be like, you will not treat me that way. You will not speak to me that way, and help people step up for their boundaries without being told that they're being too much and without being told that they're being too aggressive or too loud or whatever. So I came from a whole older generation perspective of, women that were told we didn't get to be disrespectful to anyone. And I think Joe started it. If Gia had started it, I would have been like, ooh, it's a little strong. But Joe started it. He's also an adult. I
also love the fact that she was able to, she tried walking up to him the first time, and then she's like, you know what, you're not letting me talk. And she walked away, and then she came back and she's like, let's not do this. And
she's the adult. She is the adult in these families. Like, these kids are having to deal with parents that are dealing with a lot of dysfunction. And it makes me sad for them because they're dealing, like, Teresa and Joe are both bringing a lot of dysfunction, and the kids are like, this is dumb. And so I get where Gia's had enough. I also want Gia to have a spinoff. Like, I need Gia to have a show. Can you see it? I can see it.
Teresa Giudice just talked in. I don't know where she said this at, but she was asked, will you get married on the show? And she said, I won't marry Louis on Housewives. No, absolutely not. But I would marry him on my own show. And I was like, of course you would. Of course you'd marry him on your own show. Are we talking a spinoff now? Because I would probably watch the Teresa spinoff. I would give it a chance. We gave Portia's a chance.
I would watch it to see Gia. I really do like Gia, but I also feel like all of the Giudice kids, and I feel like the Gorga kids too, have grown up in a very strange way with being how much of their lives have been on TV, and not just being on TV, but how much of their own family dysfunction's been on TV. And I applaud Gia for standing up and setting some boundaries and be like, you always have to, have a scene. Like, and I didn't see her saying you're making a scene. I saw her as saying you're doing this for the show. Like, you're amping it up for the show. And I'm tired of it. That's how I interpreted that. I loved her. I was here for her this entire episode. She's stunning. Like, I looked like a cave creature at 20. I don't understand.
I looked very grungy. I look like Pete Davidson at 20. That's what I look like. So, getting back to it, I have to ask your opinion too, because we touched on this briefly and Zach didn't really kind of give his side. So I want to pick both of your brains. Jennifer Aydin obviously was confronted with the fact that her husband cheated, and she owned it in a matter of seconds when Margaret called this out. Yep. And Margaret was like, he cheated with the office manager. And she's like, she was actually the pharmaceutical rep. You fucking idiot.
Also, super common, by the way. Pharmaceutical reps, man. Not uncommon.
Don't trust them.
Don't trust them. So when I go to the pharmacy,
they're always attractive too. No, it's the pharmaceutical reps.
No,
they're hot. They go in and sell.
To be, yeah,
they're designed to be. They go in. It's changed a little because the laws have changed a little, but this was 10 years ago. They go in and take doctors to lunch, bring lunch for the staff, and try to promote the pharmaceuticals that their company sells for the doctor to use that as their primary thing. They also do it with medical technology sales and device sales. So this is something that I'm not unfamiliar with. I will say, when my husband and I were dating, there was a pharmaceutical rep that was trying to come into the race hot and heavy, and I was not having any of it. So I was totally triggered.
Wait, okay. So that's my question here is, it wasn't Jennifer's infidelity. It was her husband's. When she was 9 months pregnant, she found out about it. She had a suspicious charge, a bottle service charge on the credit card. And then she found a text message. He owned up to it right away. And after she gave birth, they decided to kind of sweep it under and not talk about it. Now, it coming back up, she defended this like, wait a minute, Margaret, you were so open about your infidelity. You put it in a book. You wanted to talk about it. You made it your storyline. And that's, of course, going to open up the kind of area for people to give public opinion. I was not open about this. This wasn't my infidelity. This was my husband's. And now I have to explain it to my family. Margaret was like, wait a minute, you called my mom the S word. And you also talked about me and my marriage. You put me on blast and made it look 10 times worse and tried to take control over my narrative. So yeah, I think it's fair game. Do you have a side here? Do you think one is more wrong than the other?
Oh, I'm not dipping into the levels of wrong. I was so caught up on Teresa's hypocrisy that I didn't even care about Marge. I truthfully, and I think I understand Jennifer's point, but the Bravo editors, in their little winky way, went back and were like, here's all the ways that this has been teased at. Here's all the ways. And again, when you live in glass houses on a reality show, maybe be mindful of the stones that you throw. Because I think Jennifer opened the door for that in the way that she attacked people about their own things and in digging into Jackie's affair more. And she's like, but I was curious. Okay, well, people are curious about your husband too, honey.
Yeah, she pushed it so far to the point where they sat on this information for a long time. And I loved that Margaret in her confessional this week said, she's not like, the kids are not hurt by what I did. The kids are hurt by what your husband did. And your husband needs to be held accountable for making this mistake. You both agreed to come on a reality show, which opened your lives up for, public subjectification. And now here you are, and now it's been exposed. But you were the first person to point a bunch of fingers and poke into other people's marriages and personal lives. And now, it just came back to bite you in the butt. But don't be mad at me, be mad at your husband, because he's the one that cheated on you.
Margaret's been throwing. Look, if you are watching that back, knowing what Jennifer knew, you're looking at that going, Jennifer has to know that Margaret knows. Based on all the things Margaret said, especially that scene where Margaret's like, or in his girlfriend's bed, and she loses her mind. She knows. She knows. Margaret's like a rattlesnake on this one. She's rattling her tail for season after season after season. And even on the first episode, she's like, we don't want to go there. You're not being honest. I don't want to do this here. Like, she gave adequate warnings for Jennifer to back off, and Jennifer pushed and pushed and pushed. And Margaret's like, okay, then.
She's like, all right, here we go.
Here we go. Welcome to your storyline this season, Jennifer.
Because it
detracts from your nose.
Wasn't just... Yes. And it wasn't just that, she was poking at other people's marriages, but she was constantly flaunting her marriage and how you guys have these screwed up marriages, but my marriage is so perfect. And I think that was the final snap for Margaret.
And again, it's always bullshit. No one's marriage is perfect. Anyone who's been married for more than 2 years, no one's marriage is perfect. In the first 2 years, you can kind of fake it till you make it. But this year, my husband and I are coming up on our 20th anniversary. We have had a very happy marriage. It's not perfect. Marriages ebb and flow and evolve and change. And I think anyone promoting that, like, oh, it's perfect, it's good, is hiding a lot, versus, no, there's times that it's hard. No, there's times that we struggle. No, there's times that it's great, because no relationship is just like everything's good all the time.
Right. No, I definitely agree with that. And, by the way, guys, 800 in the room, smash that like button for our big announcement before Emily D. Baker has to go at 1 o'clock. She has a hard exit at 1 p.m.
1
Eastern.
p.m. Central. Always Central.
Oh my gosh, so we have you.
You have me.
How did you not? She put
time zones are hard
in the group thread. No, but you listed out all the time zones in the text.
No, I'm here for more than another 10 minutes. We haven't talked about Jen Shah talking to her lawyer, thinking she and Stort are on the same team. Like, we have to come back to that at some point. We're not done, but we've got to do Jersey.
I was going to
say
an
announcement in the middle if you want. I don't.
My thing here was there was a line that Margaret gave us, and I'm jumping around a little bit, but when she said, listen, don't worry about the kids. The kids are resilient. You just put them in therapy. I was like, okay, I don't know if that's like the best answer, but I do understand where she's like, this isn't my wrongdoing. This is your wrongdoing. So it is what it is.
Kids are gonna need a little help processing childhood anyway, because junior high school is traumatic. So what goes on in your family, depending on how the adults deal with it, might not be that traumatic for their kids. And finding out about an affair 10 years later, after their parents have rectified it and moved forward, might not be, it'll be a shake of a trust, like, oh, my dad's not exactly who I thought it was, but my parents are people and they've moved through it. Their family has moved through other hard stuff with the grandparents. I mean, Jennifer's mom and dad have had issues. Jennifer's mom has had issues with Jennifer's brother being gay. Like, their family has had other things that they've had to address. So I don't think this is going to destroy Jennifer's children. I think she's embarrassed. And of course you would be.
Right.
Well,
right.
I think also to that point too, though, Emily, is with Jennifer's storylines in the past, and people have given her, I think even Melissa gave her crap for this at the reunion, that her storylines were centered around her family, her gay brother, her parents' marital issues. Like, she was very much okay exploiting other people in her family for a storyline. And she's like, well, my family is my storyline, that now the heat has finally turned on her and her marriage. And from what we've seen this episode, she can't take it because she walks into a room and is already breaking down.
Yep. She
And
really
Jennifer.
can't take the other women. I like Jennifer too, but I also love the women being like, why are you crying? Like, why are you crying?
Loved when Dolores walks in, she's like, what are you doing? Why are you crying? Like, just like, not even, what's going on? Are you okay? What are you doing? Why are you crying in my house right now? Like,
I think Dolores might be at the top of my favorite housewives, always. I mean, I rarely find myself disagreeing with Dolores. I like that Dolores is like, you know, she's kind of a ride or die for Teresa, but she sees Teresa's shit and she'll call it out and be like, but Teresa's Teresa. She's stunning. She's stunning without make. I love her. I love all of it. I love her and Frank's crazy relationship. I love her kids. Like, I adore Dolores.
I know we all love her kid, especially her son. Everyone loves the son, little Frank Jr. Not so.
I love her daughter wanting to be a vet with this horde of hodgepodge animals. I love everything about it.
Yeah, and Dolores is always kind of like, she's always the neutral one for the most part until you really push her to the edge and piss her off. She's usually pretty, level on, like, even last night we watched her where at first when she sits down with Jennifer, Aydin, and Teresa, when they're invited over to, Teresa or Jennifer's house, they have the conversation and Teresa's like, Dolores, you don't think that what she did was wrong? And she's like, I do think what she did was wrong. And then she was very easily swayed once she went, carpet rug shopping for the houses. And Margaret was like, hold on, Dolores.
But wait, there's more.
She was digging up stuff. She was trying to get information out of Frank so you can ask him. She was trying to find out about Evan, and she really wanted hard evidence on Jackie Goldschneider's husband. That way she could, the only reason you want hard evidence, let's be real, they're all digging for something so they can drop it on the show. So really, Margaret probably got wind of this and she's like, you're going to go in on Jackie. I'm going to sideblind you and I got your number. And I honestly, that's what makes a good house. Like, it's shitty, but when you sign up for these shows, you go on reality TV shows, you can't have skeletons. They do come out. Like, I know Zack and I and I'm sure maybe you do too, Emily, but you're more in the legal stuff. But for like Bravo gossip, I get people sending me accusations about different people on TV shows all the time. And I'm like, ugh, I can't take this on my channel.
Stuff all the time.
Yeah, it's just
not about Bravo gossip, but sometimes about the lawsuits I'm involved in the lawsuits I'm covering, the stories I'm covering. No, I definitely get stuff into my inbox. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I'll look at that. Sometimes it's really helpful. Like, hey, did you see this creator did this video expose on this? And I'll do that. But sometimes it's like, I know this person and this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, thank you for that. Like, it gives me context, but some of that's not my story to share. But yes, right, it does happen. And people know, and people look, Jersey has its small towns and people know people's business. I mean, when we moved, the community that we moved from in Southern California was 16,000 people. When I remember it so vividly, I was at my son's reading day. They had all created books in third grade or whatever, and they'd created little storybooks, and you have to get together and sit and read these books. And I was sitting in a group of other moms. One of them was on flag squad with me in high school. One of them was homecoming queen my sophomore year of my high school. One of them was married to a guy I went to high school with. And the other one was my ex-boyfriend from high school's older sister. That was the kind of small town. And it's not just like everyone knows your shit. It's like everyone knows your shit, your brother, your mom, your exes. And there are towns in Jersey very much like that, where everybody knows everything and has known it since you were a kid.
That's why I didn't last in Tennessee. We had one stop sign, and when I was the new kid in town, everybody was like, oh my gosh, there's this new kid from Florida. And then we would get like one new kid in town a year, and then everybody was fixated on the new kid until they found out some weird shit about their family. And then the new kid would be exiled, and then you're no longer the cool new kid. You're just like, you're going to sit at this table with you're like the exiled table. But yes, small towns, no.
That's the one thing. Moving to Middle Tennessee, it felt like for me, it felt like I was like, oh, everyone doesn't know me and my parents and my brother and everyone I've ever known forever. But there were so many new kids because there's so much growth outside of Nashville. There were so many new kids when my kids started school that he was like, other kids were like, hey, do you know where this is? He's like, no, I'm new. And it just kind of helped. This winter break, the elementary school, and my kid goes to a fairly small elementary school, had 25 new kids coming in at the winter break of people who had moved from elsewhere in the country into Middle Tennessee. It's been wild, the amount of growth here. So being the new kid's not a weird thing.
Which is kind of funny because I feel like Zach's over there in his like penthouse apartment, and like the stoop kid's afraid to leave his stoop. Like,
can you not? You're always like, you're on the 34th floor. Like, you make it seem like I like am in this.
Look,
insane.
You live in the land of earthquakes on the 34th floor. It's brave. I'm just saying.
Can we not? You have no idea. That is my biggest fear, is an earthquake, especially in a building. Like when we've had earthquakes, like it scares me in my soul.
I know. It's part of why I moved. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Why I'm not coming for Mary.
Yes.
I'm not coming for Mary. She's going to send Jesus after my building, and I'm good.
I think I still have PTSD from the Northridge earthquake from when I was a kid. Like I see, like I'm not joking.
Ask Heather. Who said, Kate, I named my pug after Dolores and can hear Frank when I holler Dolores. Thank you for the super chat. And then Southern Nana 70 said, love you three together. Thanks for fun panel, great info, and agree. I love Dolores's family. Kind of would like Frank and she to be back together. I don't think that'll ever happen, but I
want them to have a buddy. Like I want to work for Bravo and create spinoff shows. I want them to have like a Love It or List It type show. Like I think it would be hilarious.
Okay, so this is a question for you guys. Out of all of the cast members on Real Housewives of New Jersey, who do you think would have the most interesting spinoff show? Whether it's an HGT, doesn't matter what the show is inspired by. Who would be the one who you would think would be able to carry one?
I think Teresa and her girls could carry one, and I think Margaret Josephs and her wacky family could carry one, because she has such an eclectic team. And she was even talking about, because we're reading her book for my Bravo book club that we do every week, and she talks about how before she joined Real Housewives of New Jersey, they were shopping around her reality show, which was called Marge in Charge, and it was based around her business. So I think that would be really fun because there are just so many characters surrounding her, and I think the Giudices would be really fun because we've watched the girls grow up, that we have like a personal investment in that family, and I think they could continue to carry it. And Jersey is the Teresa and the Gorga show. Like it really is.
Georgia Carolina, I have to disagree with you. I would not want a Jackie Goldschneider spinoff. I think that she kind of, to be fair,
who said Jackie.
Georgia Carolina said Jackie.
Jackie
but to be
Dolores.
fair, there's always a housewife on every franchise who I get a lot of shit on here because I'm like, they don't make a great housewife. Like Teddy Mellencamp, I wasn't all for. Robin Dixon on Potomac, I don't think so. Sometimes Leah McSweeney on New York, I'm like, So for Jersey, I feel like Jackie Goldschneider is that kind of character for me that gives me the least interesting situation or storyline. But she is one of the only ones who will go up against Teresa. So.
And there she stays.
That's how she stays.
I was sad when Dolores had her hair half up and you could see her extension tracks. I was like, no, don't let her do this. Who is doing her hair? But I loved Marge's like fishtail braid. Like I need that situation in my life because I'm sure it's a clip on. Like I need. You
can't see the front of
that
the back
fishtail
of
ponytail. It was so good. But all the drama with the cheating scandal detracted from the fact that Jennifer Aydin went and had someone not her husband give her a nose job when she was out of the country. Like we never even got to talk about that.
And she said that she's not happy. She just recently opened up again. And she said, after she found a plastic surgeon on Instagram who was from Turkey, and her husband said that he would never perform plastic surgery on her again after, was it a tummy tuck that he did for her, Zach? I think it was.
Or Oh, her husband, did a tummy tuck.
Did a tummy tuck, and he said after that procedure he would never do another one on her. So she went to Turkey, and she had a chin implant put in, and she had her nose done, and she said that she's not happy with either of them.
But she also did it on a like I would never go to another country and then just on a whim be like, you know what, I'm gonna get a nose job and a chin implant. Like normally you would do one or the other just to start and be like, let me see if I like this plastic surgeon. Let's see how my face looks once my new nose settles in or once my chin implant. Like who do you think you are, Heidi Montag, getting 40 surgeries done in one day? But at least Heidi Montag made it part of her brand and did it with somebody that she could trust. Yep. She didn't go to another country and it's you know what? I'm going to just have this guy shave my nose down. Now her nose looks like a boomerang. I'm not sad. I'm not sad because she made this decision and she should have known better, especially with her husband being a plastic surgeon. He could have made a good referral to somebody in Jersey.
I feel like there's
and I love her.
Sorry, Adam. No. I was just going to say, I feel like there's only one thing that I would get done outside of the country. And it's only because I'm so envious because I'm obsessed with teeth. And Jason has the prettiest teeth because when he was in Cirque, he did an Adidas campaign and they paid to have his teeth put in veneers. And I'm obsessed with his smile. I just wish I had the same smile. And when Tasha K went to Colombia to get hers done, I was like, oh, I would go outside of the country for teeth, but I don't know. No. Okay, Adam, when I see you in person, you're going to have a long conversation with Dr. B. He is a maxillofacial prosthodontist. Full mouth reconstructions are a lot of what he did. You've got to have a full conversation about that. Okay. You don't need to go out of the country. Bleaching does wonders. It's not that.
You don't need full veneers. You don't need full veneers.
Yes, I do.
Shut up. No, you don't.
Okay. So
you have a gorgeous smile. It has a lot of character. You don't need full veneers.
I'll keep you around, Emily. Thank you.
We're just going to tell you the truth. But here's what makes me sad about the amount of plastic surgery on Jersey is I think Jennifer Aydin was beautiful before she started messing with her nose. And it just, I don't know. I would like to see people just be like, I don't know, just to own it a little bit. I mean, I guess there's a difference between fillers and nose jobs and everyone gets to choose their own plastic surgery. But I thought she looked stunning before and her face just feels off.
It feels off. Stephen Poor. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Y'all need to come close to San Antonio for a show. I love you, Adam and Jason. Y'all too, Zach and Emily. LOL. Well, since
the chat has very strong feelings about your veneers, by the way.
Oh no.
Thank you, chat.
Oh,
Adam's angels are like, look at him.
Well, guys, I wish
go get some Crest White strips. Live your best white teeth life. You could be like Ross from Friends when he smiles and glows in the dark. Start there.
Okay, we'll start there. We'll start there.
Decide.
Since we have 1,000 in the room, guys, don't forget to smash that like button.
We have 1,000 in the room?
Yes.
What?
The Lawnards showed up. Hello,
the Lawnards showed up and showed out. I always love it. I have my mom, by the way. The other day, we took her out. And we went to dinner and she wanted to go to another place after. And I was like, Mom, you said you were tired. And she's like, not tonight. I'm showing up and showing out. And I was like, okay, you've been watching too much of my YouTube channel, but we love it. We love it. All right. No, guys, I'm not going anywhere to get the veneers. Okay. It's just a dream of mine. Now, Law Nerds Unite. Look at the purple hearts coming in for Emily D. Baker. That's right. All right. Everybody. We got the Zach Pack in the room too. We got the Adams family. I love it. So
love it.
Before we move on, should we just talk about it for a second?
Mention it all. Zach, the chat's also asking if that sweatshirt is merch that's available. I saw a lot of those questions.
Yes, this sweater is available at justplainzach.com/shop. Justplainzach.
I saw a lot of those questions sliding through in the chat.
I see,
and I think if you use code NoFilter or Zach Pack, use code NoFilter or Zach Pack, and I think you get 15% off. I should know that merch code, but it's one of the two. Just type them in and see what works. Yes, Adam, I'm ready to make this big announcement.
Okay, let's make the big announcement. As you guys know, and I'll go ahead and bring it up here. Zack and I are going on a 3-city tour to kick us off. And we are coming to Los Angeles, Nashville, and New York City. So I don't mean to scroll too fast. If you go to spillingtealive.com, you can see a couple descriptions about the pregame, spilling tea, and the after parties. And then you can scroll down and see the cities. And now you can officially buy your tickets for Nashville. Now, with that being said, again, go to spillingtealive.com. But I wanted to see if there's a fun little video, as long as it works, because earlier it was giving me trouble. Let's see if it'll play for us. Of course, it's being a B word. It was giving me a hard time earlier. Okay, well then we'll let you have it this way.
You're gonna have to share it on social.
I'm gonna have to share it on social. Guys, we met up in Los Angeles. We went to a restaurant called Javier's, had some margaritas, rosé, had a great time. By the end of it, there's a funny video where Zach was trying to make an announcement, and I kind of just interjected to kind of get to the point. But now with that, we're coming to Nashville. We have a very special guest. Zach, you want to take away the rest?
The Emily D. Baker will be in Nashville with us as one of our very special guests on the tour. Emily's the first guest that we're announcing, but we've been confirming them left and right, and I can't wait to actually share it all with you. But Emily will be at our Nashville show, so you'll get to hang out with all three of us.
That means that we get the law nerds in Nashville. So hopefully everybody shows up, and everyone has been asking me. My DMs have been going off the charts. Everybody wants to know, when can we buy tickets for Nashville? When can we buy tickets? And we wanted to make sure that we, made the link available when we made this announcement with Emily. So as of right now, you can officially go on spillingtealive.com. If you want to come play in Nashville with Zach, Emily, and I, well, just go get your tickets, because I know they're going to fly off the wall.
And if you buy them today and use code TEATIME, one word TEATIME, you'll get a discount on tickets. So use that, but you only have until the end of the day.
Let me put that in here so people can do that right now.
If that, I think, is a special perk of being on the live stream.
Yes. Yeah. Promo code TEATIME. So if you buy today, you guys are ready to go. Susan Lindsay said, I have to go to Nashville. People are like, Nashville. I've never been to Vegas.
Nash Vegas. I told you, people know it's called Nash Vegas. Adam was like, wait, what? And I'm like, oh, it's a whole thing.
Oh my gosh. I have so many people who have been reaching out too. And Emily, Zach and I, we've had a lot of people reach. I think I've had at least 5 or 6 now who have told me that they are following us around like the Grateful Dead and going to all 3 cities and like hanging out with us, which blows my mind. I'm so incredibly grateful. This has been beyond, our expectations. I can say that I feel.
I love that. Of course they are.
Beyond.
Y'all are fun. I know. I've hung out with them in person. Y'all are fun.
But we haven't even announced all the special guests that we're having at each city. We just announced you, Emily, but it's crazy to see how many people are just flooding to buy tickets
for y'all.
Just for Adam and I. I'm like, Adam, this is not real. This is not real. We're in a dream.
Y'all don't need special guests. I'm honored to get to be a part of it, but I would come just to watch you two too.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited to have you. And I can't wait for people to see the format and also see some of the other special people that we have in store for you guys, especially in Nashville, where we're planning to take the after party. This whole experience is going to be just such a fun night. And trust me, we had a fun night the first night, a little jet lagged, had some cockies, as Marisol Patton says on the Real Housewives of Miami, got a little litty city, as Zach Pack likes to say, and we had a good time. But the show, of course, the show's going to be where we're kind of getting into it and we're having fun. But the after party, that's going to be where it's at too. So you guys definitely have to come play with us in Nash Vegas, because we're.
And for those of you that can't travel, there's a streaming option if you want to be able to watch it. So you guys get both options.
Yes. So you guys, there's going to be more too. We're dropping new tidbits every single week. Zach and I are going to be recapping the Real Housewives of New Jersey every week on Wednesday, and we're going to be announcing new guests, new things that are happening, new venues, Bravo celebrities that are going to be joining us at these different locations, some of your favorite content creators, who you'll see. But it's almost like it's starting to become with everybody who's confirming with Zach and I, because I think we mass reached out to all of the people that we know and people we've collabed with and interviewed with. I think we just wanted to see, if you reach out to 20 people, maybe you can get a good 2 or 3.
And then everyone said yes.
And then everybody started saying yes.
Yeah.
I'm texting Adam. I'm like, I can't believe they take us seriously enough to just agree to do it.
I don't know why you're surprised. I'm surprised that you're surprised.
Shooketh.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So come get Liddy City with Zach, because Adam's going to be on a sober tour.
No,
I'm not. I make no promises.
Adam got me drunk. Yeah.
Oh, Emily, you weren't there before. And guys, we'll get back into it. Again, smash that like button, show some love. But we actually ended up going out, Zach, because Jason and I worked in West Hollywood for quite some time. And I wanted to meet up with some of our friends because we don't have a real social circle here in Florida. We just work all of the time. So it was nice to kind of catch up with people. And I asked Zach, I said, do you want to come out and grab a drink? And he said, yeah, let's grab a drink and then do a promo, because in the first 12 hours that we announced LA, we sold out of all of our VIP tickets. And it was just, we weren't expecting it. It was incredible. And Zach comes out and I was like, yeah, one drink, sure. And by the end of the night, Zach's just like dancing, having a good time. We went to 3 different places. Everybody's like, we had one friend who literally, and okay, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. She came in, she drove an hour and a half to come hang out with us. And she came in town. She actually stayed at our hotel. She was dancing with Zach that night. But she came in, had dinner, had drinks, fell asleep at the second location that we went to, went into the bathroom, threw her guts up, went back to the first location, had espresso, and then she was like gyrating all over Zach, and then fell asleep in Jason and I's hotel bed with a cheeseburger. And I wake up and I'm like, what the happened last night? Like, this was an experience. So it was great.
That's a messy good time.
It was great. It was a very messy good time. I was so Liddy City. But I have to tell you, I mean, I went out and I was like, I'm only having one drink, Adam. I have to be up for my workout in the morning. Like, I was so serious about that. And then Adam like had me taking like vibrating shots. I did make the workout. Not at 6, but I did make the workout. But I was taking like vibrator shots and like wine and
I have questions.
Yes. Okay. Let me clarify, because that sounds very raunchy, especially in West Hollywood. Vibrator shots. Hold on. Let me clarify. It's called a buzz button. So it's this little flower that you bite off the
same
end,
thing,
and it tingles your mouth. It's like Pop Rocks. And then you take the shot and you're like, I don't know what's happening to my mouth. And that's what it was. It's not, but you got to be careful throwing around vibrating shots, Zach. People are going to want us to have that at every show.
They put a vibrator in the shot and then you like, and I'm like, but that's not going to fit. That's like,
this isn't that. We didn't go to the Abbey.
How that worked. But I was at a conference that I spoke at in Atlanta, and one of the gifts they gave out to all the attendees were hot pink vibrators. I was like, this is my kind of conference. Like,
should we reach out to Joe? Should we reach out to Joe Giudice and ask if he'll give everybody vibrators that come to our VIP
swag bag?
That was
swag bag. Gorgeous Giudice vibrators.
He promotes his vibrators in my comment section when I do a Jersey-inspired video. Watch, I swear I'll screenshot after this video. Joe Giudice will pop in, and he comments on the video.
For it. Perfect.
Okay. Tropical Tarot. I'm new to you and Jason, and I just adore the community of the Addams family. So grateful for you all. I have so much fun in these lives. Thank you so much for your support and love. We appreciate you. All right, now that we have that, all of that fun announced, guys, again, you can go to Spilling Tea Live. Just check out the banner at the bottom. Grab your tickets, because Nashville is limited. Our other venues are a little bit bigger. Nashville is a little bit more limited, but again, like Emily said, the whole strip, it's Nash Vegas. That's what they call it. There's going to be a lot of fun places to go in the area before and after. It's going to be an incredible time. And I just hope to see you all there. But
I see all the comments. People are like, Vegas, 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 Vegas. I will say, though, Vegas is a very expensive place to host conferences and meetups.
Anything.
So Vegas can be a little hard.
I mean,
but Nash Vegas is ready for you.
Yes, Nash Vegas is. Listen, guys, once we get these 3 cities and we do them,
here's the thing. Why don't we, Adam, agree? If we can sell out all 3 of these shows, we'll definitely add some more.
Yes.
Perfect.
I think we'll go with that. You guys,
and we'll let you vote. Yeah. And we'll let you guys vote which cities we come to next. But first, we need to sell out these 3.
I was, just to be fair too, though. We came and we're playing in Zach's playground of Los Angeles, but we also then, when we extend, we have to come play in Miami too, because, well, we got to hit my hometown. So,
yep.
Okay.
I saw a lot of Miami in the chat too. So
it's funny. I'm seeing the most random people are like, St. Louis, come to Dallas, Texas, come to Salt Lake City, come to Charleston, come to Atlanta.
Maybe the next thing is going to the Housewives cities. It's like, okay, we're going to do Orange County. We're going to do, you guys are already doing New York. We're going to do Jersey. Like, maybe it's like going to franchise cities. That'll get you Miami. That'll also get you DC. If you'd consider it a franchise, it wasn't. Maybe it can even pull you to London for Ladies of London, get you international.
I mean, DC, we have our
Dubai.
Potomac girls. We have our Potomac
Dubai.
girls in DC.
Yep.
I mean,
Well, and there was Real Housewives of DC for that brief and shining moment.
when the one made it into the White House and with cameras, which was the most bizarre. How the hell did that ever happen?
Fantastic. Chaos back in the day. Anyway.
How do you make it into the White House with Bravo cameras?
They didn't make it into the White House. They only made it up to the gates.
Oh, did they?
Because production tried to get into the White House and production couldn't get into the White House, which is how they were able to confirm that they were never actually on the list, because production wanted to film inside, but they had to get clearance and they couldn't get clearance because they weren't on the list.
Production couldn't get clearance because they're like, who you want to film doesn't have a ticket.
Yeah, they're like, we don't know this woman.
And that's why production's like, then we're filming them up to the gate because they were expecting them to get rejected. And then they did. Yay, I see all the tickets coming in.
Hey, Sarah's one of our amazing subscribers who's going to be joining us in all 3 cities. Thank you, Sarah. We're excited to see you and meet you. And thank you for grabbing a VIP ticket. Guys, for those who don't know, Zach, can you, before we get back into it, there's general admission and VIP. Can you explain the VIP tickets and the difference really quick?
Yeah, so general admission gets you into the show, which we have a great show. Every show, LA, Nashville, and New York are all different with all different talent. It's a whole 90-minute show that Adam and I are in the process of designing with everybody right now. Emily's going to be in our Nashville show. But the VIP gets you access to the show, and you get early admission. We're going to do a pregame happy hour with Adam and I. You'll get a photo op. You'll get to drink some no-filter wine, which I have right here. You'll get the new rosé and white wines. So you get to drink with us. You'll get to do some photos with us. We'll have some of our friends at that as well. So it's just a fun sort of pregame that you'll get to do before the show. And then you'll get early access to the showroom to grab your seats ahead of time. So you get only the best seats, baby. Julie, we're excited. Emily D. Baker, are you going to be joining us for the pre-party?
Of course I'm going to be joining you for the pre-party.
Yes, see, and then you get to come play in pre-party with Emily.
Of course I am.
I love that.
Of course I am. I'm not going to be like, oh no,
happy hour.
Oh no, I will join you later. I mean, I have absolutely big plans for fabulous hair, a great outfit, and limited sobriety. Like, I have plans.
Shit, I'm going to be the Pete Davidson of the group. Zach is
Good.
I can't wait.
I saw Zach, and Zach's like on Instagram. I need somebody who's going to, because, you know, there are amazing people in LA who, you know, are designers and stuff. And I need somebody who's going to dress me and make me look fabulous. I said to Jason, I'm going to walk in like I'm wearing Scott Disick's Barely Famous.
If it makes you feel any better, I will probably be in some sort of a band shirt and a leather jacket. I have one vibe.
Wasn't that what you wore to Javier's?
Yep.
Yeah, we love it.
One vibe.
Dress like there's no tomorrow. And then tomorrow, do it again.
Yeah, I'm not a Dorit.
Actually, we kind of dress similar, Emily.
Yes.
Except
I'm basic.
I don't have band shirts, but I have all black everything.
Come time for the tour, I'm going to be freshly bleached, bronzed, and Botoxed. I'm going to be ready.
I mean,
oh gosh.
I'm going to consider that. I'm going to have to consider that.
Okay.
Not bleached. We'll be freshly colored, probably not bronzed, possibly Botoxed. I'm ready.
Possibly Botoxed. Okay. All right. So when going back into Real Housewives of New Jersey in this recap.
I forgot that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's what we're here to do. But I of course we all got excited, you know. We end up making our way. Of course, we got Jennifer Aydin's daughter's summer party. It wasn't her birthday party, not to get confused, because her birthday's in January. We made that very clear. She got soda though, because it was a very special day, and there was an
She gets two birthday parties. I feel that she gets an end of the year party and a birthday party in January too.
Wait, someone just said Nashville VIP tickets are sold out. Is that a real thing? Can somebody go on the website and see if you can buy VIP tickets? This is so wild.
Sorry, guys.
There's 1,000 people on the live stream.
Oh my God, this is so crazy.
I'm gonna die if we sell out, because so the thing is with the Nashville location, we're able to, like Los Angeles, we were able to extend because there's a bigger capacity, but in Nashville, because I was asking Zach, how many people can I bring? Because Zach's the one talking to the venues, because two of us
like
talking.
Two. You can bring two people out.
Yes.
Nashville, you can bring two people.
And because we're going to be able to fit 100 people in the venue. So I wouldn't be surprised sold out.
Well, VIP is sold out. You can still get general tickets.
Yep.
I knew as soon as she posted part 2, I ran to see if tickets were on sale. Can't wait to see you in Nashville. VIP, poised, mixologist. Hey, congrats on the sellout. Thank you guys. Wow. Adam is totally beautiful. You haven't seen me in person. Trust me, it's not all that great. Ask Jason. Thank you. Wow.
You guys are both uncomfortably attractive in person. Just
Emily,
so everybody knows.
First of all,
get ready for it.
You're my spirit animal in life, period. And you are absolutely stunning. And you were literally what I thought you would be when I saw you. You're like ridiculous. A present. And Zach was about to go in.
You got me with messy, untamed hair and no Botox and no brows.
Gorgeous. Like you're gorgeous. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
And you're so okay. What a night. Okay. Wow, guys. Okay. Well, we might be sold out after this live because.
Yep.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, well, then that means you have to come to New York and LA.
And in New York, we have some great people too. You know, so hey, hold on. You'll just have to join us. I think Heather McDonald was talking about. Oh, I thought you were going to save the show. Okay, I love that pick of the 3 of you guys. Try 1 ticket to get VIP. I was going to buy a VIP.
Sold out.
It says sold out.
Mm-hmm. It says sold out.
Admission, it's still going to be amazing. So just join us in we're still going to be there.
Zach's looking at it and Zach's like, it is sold out.
It says sold out. Oh my God. That's you guys. That's so crazy.
Wow.
We'll get GA. Maybe we'll surprise a couple of you and upgrade your tickets.
Whoa. Zach's the
That'll
go-to.
be fun.
Paula, but still, that's why I'm saying if the VIPs are sold out, still grab the general admission because you're still going to get
general tickets.
It's a smaller venue, so you're still going to get to come hang out with us. You're still going to meet all of us, and we're still all going to go to an after party of some sort together as long as you're down to hang out. Past that, you know, I'm kind of an old lady and I go to sleep early, but Nashville is in my time zone. I'm not in LA, so I'll be wide awake and caffeinated. So I'll be ready to go. But yes, even general admission is still going to be amazing. So get your tickets because it's, you know, VIP is going to be incredible when we get a pre-party, but general admission, you still get the after party and the party period. Don't sleep on general admission. Okay. That's all. All right. What were we talking about? Jersey? Because now I just
Real Housewives of New Jersey.
I'm about to, sorry, Heather, I apologize for this in advance. I really do, but this is about to be me. I'm sorry, Heather. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm going to faint after that one. Okay. So getting back to it, we end up making our way to Dolores's house, her new townhouse, which I think is absolutely stunning. I love the fact that she has this new bachelorette pad. And honestly, I like it better than her house. But when she said that the mortgage is paid off on her house, I was like, oh shit. Okay. You know, I'm here for that too. I just wanted to, well, I don't know. What did you think about this situation with Jennifer Aydin coming in hot and heavy, crying right out of the gate? Like what, I want to pick your brains on this. Should she have even showed up in the first place? Do you think Margaret is, how do we feel?
I mean, she should have known what she was walking into.
She should have known what she was walking into.
She absolutely should have known, but she signed up to be on a reality show.
Yeah.
She knew what was
she's
what was
put other
coming.
people in this position. Yeah.
Yeah, she has. And nobody came at her aggressively. And even the night when Margaret's like, look, we all know, I don't think Margaret was super crazy with her. There was no screaming. There was no yelling. Like Jennifer's gotten more unhinged on people than Margaret did. And even Jackie was like, look, I'm here. Like it's going to be fine. I thought that the cast was really delicate with her, given how aggressive she's come for people particularly in the reunions. So I don't know what she expected.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Like what, when you start going in on everybody, how do you expect them to treat? This is kind of, I was having this conversation. It's a totally different situation, but like karma is a very real thing. And when you treat people a certain way, it does come back. Eventually, it might not be right there in the moment, but you will have your moment. It's like when Erica Girardi said at the reunion this past season, season 11, she looked at all the women and she's like, you don't all think that you'll have your moment? And they're like, well, probably not with embezzlement.
Not like this.
Yeah, we'll have a moment, just not maybe that moment. And I was like, okay, I mean, she's not wrong. Oh, Zach.
It was interesting seeing, I wonder if the anticipation of Jennifer Aydin if the anticipation was that people were going to come for her the way she's come for them. And that's why she has like worked herself up going into it. Because if she had just walked in, people were pretty chill.
I mean, yeah, that's true too. Of course, now that we made the announcement, I have the video was able to come out because I put it on my.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna mention it all.
This is what you're gonna get in Nashville, everybody. This is what you're signing up for.
Here we go.
Okay, Adam. We're going to Nashville, bitch. But we need something to take with us. So who can we take? I don't know. Is there anybody around here that wants to come to Nashville with us? Recording, so it has to be somebody. What? I want to go to Nashville. Wait. We're going to Nashville. Oh my God.
I love that. Okay. I love that. Okay. So we finally got the video up. I'll still post it on social later, but you see my face and I was like, we're going to Nashville. This was a whole experience of a trip, but it all was worth it. It was all worth it. And it was an amazing time. Now getting back to the party, when Teresa walked in, this was one thing that you pointed out, Emily, which kind of made a lot of sense. It's like the hypocrisy and the unawareness of Teresa. And I even love when production, like they're talking to Teresa and she's like, what Margaret did was wrong. They're like, well, don't you think that you talking about Jackie's husband last season, wasn't that wrong? She's like, no, that wrong. She's like, no, that rumor. I said, and production's like, okay, that's even worse. Like this one was real. They can prove it. Now you're pulling something out of maybe nowhere and you're just putting it on this family with this man who has a high profile job from what they're saying. And now he has to answer for this, which might not look good. And his company might not want, you know what I mean? I mean, my friend got fired from her corporate job who worked on Vanderpump Rules because of how she acted on Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah.
Emily, do you have, I mean, they are allowed to fire you for stuff, right? If it doesn't look good for the company or the brand?
I mean,
depends on if they have like a code of conduct and stuff.
I think it's different for Bill. Like, I just think it's different. Could it hurt his reputation in the community? Maybe, but it was 10 years ago and they've remedied it. So he chose to go on a reality show. I mean, and last season his wife got so drunk she fell on her face and then vomited in his car. Like, you know, I don't know. That's something they have to consider when going in.
And it cost $2,000. But I was talking about Bill is a plastic surgeon who is probably the main plastic surgeon where he works, whereas Evan works in a whole department of financial. I believe he's some big financial bigwig. So he doesn't, it's not like this is his practice. This is his company. He's like one of many, but higher up, like an exec within this company.
I don't know. I think the reason that she was so annoyed about Evan is because there was no truth to it. And they say there was no truth to it. So you're hurting his reputation and this isn't something he needs to address. It's not true. So it's hurting his reputation based on lies. But again, I think could that hurt his reputation? I will say that in a lot of states, allegations of promiscuity are defamation per se. So, you know, it's interesting that is within the realm of things that can be reputationally, or at least legally reputationally damaging. But again, then don't go on a reality show. Like, if you're really, really that worried about it, don't go on a reality. It's not like we're new, people. This is not Laguna Beach. You know what you're signing up for, especially by the time Jackie came in. She knew what she was signing up for. So, I mean, I would imagine if Evan was really worried about it, he would have had to have a conversation with his company. Like, hey, my wife and my family are going to be on a reality show. I'm not much involved, but this is what it is.
This is what it is.
And a lot of employers, though morality clauses are starting to change, a lot of employers, if you don't do something directly to damage the company, like the financial advisor who was yelling like racial slurs and throwing smoothies at people inside of Robux. Did you guys see that on it was crazy. Anyway, the employees recorded it and he was a big financial guy in Connecticut and got fired. But he came unhinged and was arrested for that event. And so outside of stuff like that, some rumors I don't think are going to be a problem.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, that's my thoughts.
Hey everyone, I just bought VIP tickets to Nashville and the wine package. It's also my birthday on the 12th. We'll celebrate your birthday, Rob J in the city. Happy birthday coming up.
We can't wait.
What a great
Somebody write it down so we don't forget.
We won't forget.
I will. I'm ADHD. I forget everything. Rob J, but I don't want to. That's why I'm saying write it down.
I should.
Zach's like, make a note.
I will, but I don't want to. I'm coming to Nash Vegas. Just got my tickets. Sad the VIP sold out. Susie, don't be sad. We're still gonna have a great
show. Yep.
It's gonna be a great show. Okay. Emily is big sister with brains, beauty, spirit, and reality, just like her three brothers, Zach, Adam, and Jason.
I'll take being the internet's big sister. I mean, occasionally I get called internet mom, and I saw a number of you asking where my fancy sweatshirt was from. Target. But like 4 years ago. People are like, where can I get that? I'm like, I don't know. I've had it forever. It's either going to be probably Target or Costco.
I'm going to teach you guys how to do the fashion affiliate deals where I'm like, and you can buy this here, and here's a link here, and it's all linked in your Instagram stories. But like, you're giving me Kyle Richards vibes season 2 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when Dana Wilkie walked in. She's like, my glasses are $25,000. And then Kyle in her confessional, she's like, and my dress was $20 from Target. And now look at where she's at.
Yeah, my hat is from the lawnerdshop.com. The glasses are Dolce and Gabbana. The shirt is Target.
Well,
I'm very picky about where I spend my money, and most of it goes to Vuitton on purses. So when it comes to clothes that might end up muddy because I have children and I like to do archery,
somebody asked me, I actually was jokingly defending myself when I did the Heather McDonald interview because somebody said to me, they're like, Adam, could you not have dressed up a little bit better for Heather McDonald? And I was like, they said, you look like you're grunge like a robber. I was like, this is from Saks Fifth Avenue. It's the only thing I own from Saks. You
look great. I thought you looked great.
Also, that's very on brand for LA. Like LA wears like $1,000 sweatpants and slides.
Yeah, not this
and
guy.
See, I grew up in LA, and I grew up in the 90s in LA so I was on swim team and water polo, and there were days we didn't change out of our bathing suits and had like plaid pajama bottoms, like plaid flannel pajama bottoms, Ugg boots, and like a oversized shirt and a swimsuit. Like it just zero fucks were given.
I mean, listen, I fell back into my roots when Jason and I went to our family's big Southern Thanksgiving situation where it was like a campground, and my family puts it together every year. There's like 40 people. It's ridiculous. And after this past 2 years, I'll never go to another one. But as soon as I get to the campground, the shoes come off. I'm walking around barefoot. I have a tank top on, like dirty shorts, like gym shorts. And Jason's like, who are you? I'm like,
and you said, blame it all on my roots. Yeah. I showed up in boots. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
This is the real me. No. Okay. So,
we should talk about the rest of Jersey, and then can we talk about Jen Shah and her lawyer, please? Have you guys already talked about Salt Lake City? I haven't gotten to talk about it with anyone yet.
Okay, so real quick, let's move on to Salt Lake City. But before we do, what do you think, or what are you looking forward to most coming up in this season? We'll just hit that really quick to wrap us up on Jersey, and then we'll move to Salt Lake.
Teresa throwing the table at Margaret. Oh my God, that looks so like a heated, and it was in Nashville, so we're gonna have to like
recreate the moment.
To have dinner there. Yeah,
I'll let you throw a table at me.
Well, I'm blunt, so I'll
video
record
Margaret.
It.
Oh, you'll be Margaret. I mean, I could be a Teresa. Prostitution whore.
Engaged 19 times.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
I'm excited to see where they go in Nashville. I'm actually really excited to see where they go in Nashville because I know they do the pedal car, and I know like some of the people I know locally know the production team that worked with them. So I got a little bit of tea of what they were doing, but I should have actually gone down and like stalked down production because they were just out and about on Broadway, but I didn't. So
love it. Okay.
We might need to recreate a pedal drink moment. You got Nashville is unlike anything you've ever seen. It's just its own brand of chaos, and I love it so much.
I can't
Adam,
wait.
We should vlog our experience in each of the cities. We'll do like Zach and Adam take LA, New York, and Nashville.
That would be like vibes.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it, but Jason can't be the vlogger because Jason was supposed to vlog our LA trip and now he's sitting on like 50 clips and he's like, what do you want me to do? The audio is different on each one. I can't piece this together. I don't have a proper vlogging camera. You made me do it with the iPhone. I said, I told you to bring the camera and the handle. He said, no, you didn't. You always say that.
There are plenty of YouTubers who have built their entire career off of an iPhone.
You can hear. He should just narrate it and work in the clips as he's narrating the trip.
Yeah, I'm going to tell. Well, he should be watching right now, but maybe he's not. I don't know.
Jason, take notes.
Gail O, Adam, you kind of look like Enrique Iglesias. Thank you so much. I actually kicked him out of Sir. So that was great. He wasn't supposed to be wearing a hat. And I said, sir, you can't wear a hat in here. And he's like,
and he said, do you know who I am?
Exactly. And let me rephrase. I tried to kick him out. And then Guillermo, one of the co-owners with Lisa and Ken, Guillermo and Natalie, Guillermo ran up and it was my first week at Sir. And he was like, no. And I was like, oh,
not
shit,
the
I'm
celebrities.
I'm
Kick
fired.
out the normies.
Yeah, I'm fired. It's great. I can't wait. No, but I wasn't fired. Sir. Okay. So I'm also looking forward to the Nashville trip and seeing how this all transpires with Teresa and Margaret. And I still think it's kind of interesting that Teresa continues to come for Margaret, even though she had her hair pulled, which you'd think she'd be a little bit more remorseful, but Teresa has a different mindset than the rest of us. So with that, guys, do not sleep on season 12 of Jersey because we will be back every single week recapping it, dropping new information, giving more exciting details to our upcoming tour. And I have a feeling it might be sold out by, well, the end of next week.
Today.
I mean, all cities total. So that's going to be crazy. But let's move on to Salt Lake City, the Salt Lake City of it all, because this week on Sunday, we are getting the finale, and this is going to be an absolute shit show.
I am shocked this season that they are more concerned with Meredith than anybody cares about what Jen Shah is up to. I'm so shocked. Every week, I'm like, what is happening? Like, we've slipped down the rabbit hole. I'm kind of loving the Meredith-Mary friendship. I know people are getting weird about it. I like it. This season has made me crave Taco Bell, which I hate. I ate one meal yesterday. It was Taco Bell. Like, I couldn't, like, there's so much Taco Bell discussion around this season that I couldn't help myself. I was craving Taco Bell. I mean,
honestly, this season, it's them for me. It's bad weather. Like, they are the shit stirrers of it all, and I'm all here for it. They just, like, they stir that pot, and, like, if you guys watched this past episode, when they're all fighting and, you know, everyone, when Meredith comes in to defend herself, and she walks out, and Heather's like, where's Mary defending her now? And then drunk Whitney goes, yeah, where's Mary? Mary, get your fucking ass out here.
Meredith needs you.
And then finally runs into her, which I thought was so funny because it just reminds me of, like, those people, especially, like, in a school that, you know, like when the kids get amped up by, like, the other kids and they're like, go fight them. And they go looking for them in the hall. And then they finally come face to face and they're like, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to do.
This felt like a sorority house after a really long Saturday night. Like, everyone was a mess. Everyone was still, like, hungover from Friday, still drunk from Saturday.
Yes.
Like, it was a chaotic mess, and it was great TV, but it was just Lisa's meltdown, the hot mic moments, Mary's hot mic moment. She doesn't even know she looks inbred.
No, I know.
This whole episode
so bad.
Why did you feel bad?
The cringe.
The inbred
for
comment.
Heather.
Does Heather care at this point? Heather spent all last season talking about her Mormon lineage. I don't know if she cares. Do you think Heather's offended by that comment?
I don't. Well, Jen has also called her Shrek, and she was cool with that. So I feel like she doesn't care.
Heather has
what
a
Mary
pretty good sense of humor, and it makes me kind of live for her because I feel like, again, she's our every woman. She's the most relatable to me, and I kind of live for Heather. She's like, whatever, bitches. I mean, like,
to be fair, when the inbred comment came up, I felt like Sheena in this picture. I was just like,
she did not
say that.
But Heather just said, like, was it the night before that Heather's like, where's your husband, Mary? Oh yeah, it's your granddaddy. I was like, I mean, Heather kind of threw it down a little bit. So I'm not surprised that Mary's like, whatever, you snobby Mormon inbred looking bitch. Like, I'm not surprised.
So insane. Wait, Adam, since you brought up Sheena and Brock, I got some tea from them that he's finally paid off all of his child support. It's done. He's cleared of all, paid for it on his own by himself. Sheena did not give any money to help him pay that.
That's exciting. Emily's like, he should have done that in the first place. Look at her face. She's like,
Emily's like, I'm not surprised.
I am not up with all of the Bravo franchises. I just look, women that are middle-aged that are dealing with raising kids and getting drunk accidentally and screaming at each other, like I can relate to a little bit more than young hot people working at a bar.
I mean,
look, here's how my 20s went. I graduated from law school, I got a job, and then I had children. Like my 20s were a blur of working. So it's, I watch it and I'm like, I can't relate at all.
My 20s was, I introduced myself to Jason at Pump 8 times on Gay Pride. So happy 20s. Happy 20s. And I ran when it was Danity Kane was on stage performing their last concert. Have I told you this?
No.
Okay. So Wild
Zach's
Adam,
like, I'm not saying anything. Tell the story.
Adam's first Gay Pride, which I was kind of I was hanging out with this girl.
West Hollywood, I'm guessing.
West Hollywood. I was working at SUR. I was hanging out with this girl who was Miss California, and she was one of our hosts. And she actually spent the night at my house one night, and she was like, Adam, I like you, and I think we should start like maybe seeing where this could go. And I was like, yeah, I think we could see where this goes. And then after we worked together at Gay Pride, and she's like, why don't we go out? I have tickets to the Danity Kane concert. I have a friend who can get us in. And then her friend didn't show up. So she ended up flashing the security guard, got us in behind the stage. And we went up and they were waiting and the mic was on stage. And the guy walked up and he said, we'll be up in a minute. You know, the girls will be coming out in a minute. And Adam's first Gay Pride, I decide to run on stage in front of the entire crowd and think that I'm emceeing the stage and like this big party and like, hey guys, and just trying to host. And, you know, when I think that I'm not going to have the confidence to go on stage in front of everybody, I have to remember these moments. But I tried hosting the thing and then you hear like hundreds of people like, boo, Danity Kane, Danity Kane. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go now. Okay, I'll be back in the audience. Sorry, guys.
Seemed like a good idea in my head.
It sounded like it felt like it was going to be a good idea, but I guess it wasn't. Sorry. Okay. Getting back to the Salt Lake City of it all. No, we have a lot coming up for, you know, next week's episode. We obviously know that we're getting the Vita Tequila party. I feel like we have no resolve. Meredith is storming out, threatening to expose everybody's secrets in their relationships. Jenny's throwing glasses down on the floor by Mary. Mary's disengaging. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Mary's so over. Like, you can see that Mary's out. Like, she's like, I'm not riding in a fucking Sprinter van. I'm out. Like, I'm out. I don't know. I'm surprised production was like, yeah, you can ride in the SUV. Like, I was surprised by that, but she's like, I am out and we can see it. So I'm not now seeing it. I'm not surprised that she didn't show up at the reunion, seeing it play out. I was most surprised the entire episode, other than the meltdowns that made me laugh, that Jen Shah is sitting there with her full chest with her lawyer going, but we're on the same side. And her lawyer's like, until Stu takes a deal and then is against you and then goes to testify against you. And I'm like, this is what I've been saying since the day y'all were arrested. And she doesn't even seem to process that reality. Like, it doesn't even flash across her face that she's processing a reality that we know has now happened. I love that moment so much I rewound it twice.
What if it comes out that technically, because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, what if it comes out that Stu Chains was actually the real mastermind behind it all and Jen Shah knew nothing?
The prosecution's going to pull up all the stuff on TV of her feeding him a banana saying, make me money. And that's going to just,
I like to look in my mirror and ask myself, what would you do if you were in this position, Adam? Well,
if you were Stu Chains, you would throw Jen Shah right the fuck under the bus.
But the thing that also really like threw me was that like the day or the days after she was arrested, she then is sitting down with Heather Gay having lunch, and she's like, I don't know Stu. Like, he's not my assistant. Like, we're not close. I don't know what he's been doing. So she seemed to have thrown him under the bus long before he decided to flip on her.
There's only technically, right now, Emily, they're still on track for a March court date, but you said it could even, like, coming up to March, it could be last minute and the courts could push this date back because of lack of courtrooms, right? It doesn't have to be like months in advance.
No, there are 3 trials ahead of it, and those 3 trials have to complete before this one goes. I have not pulled those cases yet. The judge was talking about them at the last court date because Jen's like, I need a date, like a date certain. I need to know we're starting on this date. And the court's like, that would be adorable. But there's these 3 other trials that have to go. So I can't give you a date certain. We are doing our best. So no, this I would say it's low. That this is going to start exactly the day she thinks. It might start within a few days or a few weeks of the date she thinks, but it will probably not start the exact date she thinks. Trials, stuff happens. I mean, and especially during, if we have another, if New York has another spike of any kind, it's going to delay the trials that are set now. And the judge was very clear. It's like, these things have to complete before you get started. So if these are not done, they will push and you will push. And that could be a juror getting sick and then the trial having to stop for 3 days. It could be jury selection taking too long because people aren't coming in. It could be a lot of different things. So they're still in that bubble of a time frame where it's going to happen, but it might not happen exactly when she wants it to.
Will they have a hard time finding jurors when it's a housewife, or it's not as popular as people think? There are people who exist who don't watch Housewives.
They found jurors for the Ghislaine Maxwell case. And there's been so much coverage of her and Jeffrey Epstein. And they found jurors that had never even heard of it. They found jurors who weren't really familiar with Cardi B and Cardi B's defamation suit. There are plenty of people that don't really watch TV the way we all do, who have never heard of a housewife and do not care. There are plenty of them. She might get a slightly older jury, which isn't going to go well for her, but she will get a jury that just doesn't care. Or a younger jury that's like, I don't watch Housewives. Why would I watch Housewives? It's a bunch of women drinking and yelling. Like, I don't care. I don't think it'll be hard at all. I think exactly Jen Shah thinks more people know. I know. I think Jen Shah thinks more people will know her than they will. I mean, juries are an interesting thing, but I'm always shocked when people are like, oh, I don't own a TV. And I'm like, wait, what? What? People don't watch TV the way I do. It's always weird to me, especially in New York. New York is such a thriving city. There's so much else to do. I mean, I can absolutely see people not being into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, even though they might have watched the New York franchise.
And to be fair, when I moved to New York, I mean, I couldn't even afford cable, so I didn't have TV.
Also fair.
Just to say, just throwing that out there. But
yeah, I don't think they'll have a problem. The franchise hasn't been on that long. This case isn't getting reported the way the Girardi case is getting reported. Like, it's not even pulling the media coverage the Girardi case pulled. So it's hit local media in Salt Lake and then the Bravo media, because we all are very deeply invested. But the more mainstream media, even E! And stuff, isn't really that interested in what's going on with Jen Shah. The housewife that's been in the crosshairs on the legal stuff is Erica, which has to be interesting for Erica. Like, I want to know what that experience is like. Like, Erica, could you do like an Instagram live or get in a Twitter Spaces and just tell us what it's like watching Jen Shah, who is alleged to have done all these things, kind of get a bit of a pass this season when you got flamed for shit your husband did? Like, I want to know what that experience is like. Like, what level of surreal anger is going on there? I'm curious.
Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3, Criminals Edition.
Oh my gosh.
They can all just ask Teresa what prison was like.
You can't say we only have one criminal housewife ever who's been convicted, and that's Teresa. I don't think we've ever had another housewife who, from what we know, has gone to prison. So there would only be technically one woman on the Ultimate
Teresa. There's
Criminals
Erica
Edition,
in the hot
allegedly.
Allegedly. Jen Shah. Now we have Dr. Jen Armstrong from OC, who's like in hot water for selling Korean Botox, allegedly.
What?
Yeah, that's the latest scandal, is she's being accused of knowing that she had Korean Botox and giving that to her patients as if it were regular Botox. And the guy that she had as a supplier, I know, because somebody sent me like all of the court documents and all of this tea on it. And I'm like, oh my, people now... I'm like, go to Emily D. Baker. I just pretend
that one,
to
go
be
to
a lawyer.
Bravo docket. I have not. Or send me the tea and I might cover it. I mean, I haven't gotten into any of the Dr. Jen stuff because I've been covering a few other things, but I need to jump back in. That's like my other resource when I know Bravo coverage is needed. I always look at what the Bravo docket is doing too, because they get to some stuff faster than I do because they're covering just Bravo. Me, yesterday, I was talking about Dave Portnoy and his, defamation lawsuit. Because apparently I cover defamation lawsuits now all the time. Oh yeah, that's right. Countess Luann's a criminal too.
Luann.
Oh, and didn't Leah McSweeney say she had gotten arrested? I don't know if she ever got convicted of anything, but Leah said she had a mug shot. Sonia got arrested. So if we
Brandy Glanville got a DUI.
If we expand the definition, we can definitely fit. They don't have to be felons.
They said everyone in the chat keeps saying Marlo got arrested.
Oh, she did. I think that they said that was part of the reason why she wasn't brought onto Housewives sooner was because of her criminal past. Or I think she said that. But yeah, and then people are asking about Korean Botox versus US Botox. The reason, I don't know if it's any better or worse than US Botox.
And Gina got a DUI. Sorry, they were right.
FDA approved. Oh yeah, Gina.
Yeah, Veronica said, "What's wrong with Korean Botox?" It's probably what you
not
said.
FDA approved. I don't know if it's better or worse. It's just not FDA approved in the US. So that's why it's technically illegal. But I don't know if it's any better or worse than.
Oh my gosh, Tinsley did have a mugshot, and Portia had to go to jail too. Wow.
Oh, Marlo was a repeat offender.
Marlo has a rap sheet.
Real Housewives. We've now cast the next Real Housewives girls trip. No mugshot. You don't get to be on it.
Jeez Louise. Okay.
Erica doesn't have a mugshot. That's true. Erica doesn't have a mugshot. I think the most iconic reality TV DUI has to be Khloe Kardashian's DUI.
Oh my gosh. When Chris is like, Kim, can you stop taking selfies? Your sister's going to jail.
Yep.
Gosh.
Look, we now live in there is no reason. And my friends that are still prosecuting in LA, the amount of DUIs they get is pretty high. And it's always shocking to me. And I'm like, but Uber exists. Like, if you can afford to go out and drink, you need to just budget in the extra $20 for an Uber. Like one less drink, and DUIs cost like $10,000 in California.
And also your time, because you have to do community service. You have to most likely do either 2 to 4 weekends in jail or 30 days consecutive, right? There's like a whole, I don't have a DUI, so you guys
not
don't have
in LA.
Kim Richards got drunk and was shoplifting at Target. See, we have so many. Oh my God, Marlo cut a woman.
Sharon Culpepper, thank you for the super chat. This was, wow, okay.
I don't know enough about Marlo. That's right.
Kim Richards got drunk in public and was shoplifting. Jax got drunk in public and stole sunglasses.
Shoplifting.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
See? Oops. Oh, and they're saying also PK. Does PK have, the bankruptcy. There's the bankruptcy. I don't know what else there is with PK.
He got arrested on suspicion of a DUI because he blew like point whatever over. And then as soon as they brought him in, he blew again and it was under. So then the cops actually escorted him back home.
And dropped it. That makes sense.
And dropped it. Yeah.
The highest DUI I ever saw, ever. And I still have the printout somewhere, because I was blown away that this person was actually functioning enough to get into a car and drive and hit somebody. But they were a 0.4, not a 0.08, not a 0.10, 0.4. And the doctors were like, we did this 3 times because it was so high. It was crazy. 0.4.
How much do you have to drink to be at a 0.4?
A lot. Like a lot. Most people couldn't function at a 0.4. So anyway, it's normally in California, it's 0.08. It used to be 0.10, but I've seen some crazy numbers, but the highest ever was a 0.4. And I was like, wow. This has to be, I called the police. I'm like, this has to be wrong. This can't actually say what it says. They're like, we redid it multiple times because the doctors were like, this can't be right. It was crazy.
DUI 0.4 is bottles. Wow.
But it's also probably drinking for like 12 plus hours. Jesus. It's not anyway.
A full day. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And it was one of the more shocking, like you learn a lot as a DA, especially because I came from a fairly upper middle class neighborhood. I didn't wild out as a kid. I didn't drink when I was in high school. Like I was a pretty lived in my bubble kind of a kid. And so by the time I got to the DA's office, I was like, wait, what? Y'all are doing what? There was a three-way gone wrong. Somebody got stabbed with scissors. Like, it was wild.
Oh
Some
my
of these
gosh.
police reports are wild. Maybe I'll tell that story in Nashville.
In my experience, I went to 13 different schools. And when I did, some of the schools that were like not in the best areas that I went to were a lot more tame as opposed to I went to this one school. It was called Wellington. And it's our equestrian area in Palm Beach where all the rich kids were.
Was it Wellington or was it Wellington? We go to Wellington.
It's all like beautiful. We have like the Aero Club where everybody in the Aero Club, they have their own private planes. And then we have like the equestrian club where you have to have the horses and so it was all certain clubs. And then smack dab in the middle was this tiny little neighborhood with duplexes. Like it was like maybe 2 streets. And that's where I lived. And I remember walking in the school. There was one girl who got a Lamborghini for her Sweet 16 and it had a bow on it when she got out of school. And that school, the kids were wild. They had like the C word. Of
course they were wild. They knew that their parents would get them out of trouble. Everybody else was like, if I get arrested, my parents are leaving me there and be like, did you learn your lesson? In the super wealthy areas, they're like, but my dad knows the police commissioner. It'll be fine.
Yeah, my dad did the funding for you, asshole. So you better let me out of here. And they're like, you're 12 years old. Who are you? Gia. I'm Gia.
Monster. Giudice.
The youngest juvenile I prosecuted was 9.
9. What did she
it
do?
Didn't feel good in my soul. It did not feel good in my soul. He and his friends, their parents wouldn't let them get on the internet. So they broke into the school's computer lab, but they went in through the windows. So they did like $90,000 worth of damage to the computer lab to break in because they wanted to get on MySpace. This was back in the day. So they broke into the school's computer lab over the weekend to use the computers to get on MySpace. And then they didn't want to get caught. So they pulled a full Zoolander and smashed the computers because they didn't want anyone to know they had been using the computers to get onto MySpace. So it's like, delete the files. It was the logic of like a 9-year-old, but they came into juvenile court and I was not prepared for this. They came into juvenile court and they sat down in the chairs and their legs didn't like hit the floor. So they're just like swinging their legs and they're like, well, our parents wouldn't let us use the computers and the schools had computers and we thought we couldn't get in through the doors. So we thought we'd go in through the windows. It was like the most 9-year-old thing ever. So with those kind of juvies, we make them write like apology letters and the judge gives them a lecture and the DA gives them a lecture and we all try to look very stern and scary and are like, look, you're in court. Like you can't do this, hoping that it will kind of change the trajectory where they realize that this is maybe a problem.
Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
Yep.
Okay.
Much better than like, the Bonnie and Clyde 14-year-olds that were doing, they were doing armed carjackings. And I was like, but you're 14. What are you doing?
I mean, we just used to toilet paper people's houses on like Halloween.
Same.
The worst I ever did was like accidentally shoplifted.
How did you accidentally shoplift?
Accidentally was term. But like there was a pair of earrings that I saw like at a Target and I took them off the hook and I didn't know how to put them back on the hook and I didn't know where to leave them. So I just put them in my pocket and took them. But like, I think people expect me to be a lot worse than I actually am.
How old were you?
I was like 7.
Oh, okay. So
but that's
didn't.
worse
it's an accident
that I've ever done. I've never shoplifted. I've never like gotten a DUI, like none of those things.
So in juvie, we had bank robbers, like legit bank robbers that had done bank robberies in multiple states. They were juveniles. I call them the Bonnie and Clyde juvies. They were 14 and they had a system down for carjackings and they would jack people's cars in the area where I was working. And then they had a car shop or a chop shop they worked with and they would drive the cars at 14 to the chop shop and get cash for the cars. But it was a young girl and she would like run up to a car at a red light looking kind of frantic and disheveled, always male drivers. So she would run up to a male driver and like hit the window and start asking for help. And he would roll down the window and she's like, I am getting away from this guy. Can you take me here? Blah, blah, blah. And he would unlock the car door so she could come around and her boyfriend would open the passenger side car door with a gun and order him out of the car. And the person would be like, and then get out of the car and she would hop in and they would drive it away. Over and over and over again. It was wild. And you get them in court and you're like, I see why the plan worked. You look like babies. What has happened? Juvenile court was illuminating.
And we're arguing about keeping our kids off of social media when we have little Bonnie and Clydes out here.
Yeah, but they weren't on social media.
Listen, we don't want to put kids on TikTok against Kanye West's will, Adam.
By the way, Kanye, hold on. You just accused your still wife of, alleged kidnapping. And then you said that she's accusing you of putting a hit out on her. And then she comes out with this bomb ass. Did you see the Vogue cover, Emily?
Yes.
Oh my.
I saw the strangling Kermit Balenciaga ad. I haven't gotten past that one.
Okay. So hold on really quick, because this is like legitimate. This is how you do it. When your husband is running around with a ton of Kim lookalikes, because that's exactly what he was doing. He's running around and he has
a full Crimea River. That's what he's doing.
He has a full one girl's name. He went from this, okay, Kim Kardashian, and then he's running around and here he is. He's like, look at me. I'm going to show off the body. I'm ready to go. He has this fake kind of Kim Kardashian lookalike. She tried her hardest, just like Julia Fox did. And then all of a sudden you have Kim K out here and she's like, you know what? Let me just show you who the guy I am. I'm going to show you who I am. And then she came out with this today and posted, American Vogue, Kim's New World, I've chosen myself.
Damn.
Boom. Like, just.
Mic drop Kanye.
Stunning.
Stunning.
And she even put her kids in here.
That's how I'm showing up to all of our shows, Adam.
Yeah, just like this.
Full Balenciaga.
Well, and then I don't know if you guys saw this, but Kanye was like, he's been completely trashing Kim, and is like, you know what? Screw Pete Davidson, all of this other shit, and like went on, and he's like on a rant, and then finally today, it was just a matter of a couple hours ago, he came out with this and was like, God, please bring our family back together. I'm like, oh, you must have seen her cover.
Kanye's making me sad because at the end of the day, his kids are going to be able to see him spiraling on social media over this, and it's not going to feel good to them. And he's kind of spiraling out over this divorce, and him going around and making horrible allegations about Pete Davidson and stuff. It's not a healthy place to be in. It just makes me really, makes me really sad for it just makes me sad for their kids because we haven't really seen mess like that. I mean, not even with Scott Disick. They've really tried. And I think Scott's probably done a heap ton of therapy to try to stay good with Kourtney and to be there for their kids. And I think Kanye's putting his feelings before their kids. And I'm sure it's hard. But also, if you want to trash Pete Davidson, just call your friends. Instagram's not your therapist.
I mean, real quick, Emily, I know that you said you had a hard one.
I do have to go.
It is 102. Can I just play you one last real quick?
Yes.
Okay, here it is. For those, because everyone keeps asking me.
After you brag about being vaccinated.
I don't care, but I want you to know.
This is hard to watch.
Booster, flu shot, and I'm going to be honest, I have the shingle shot too. And I still get my period. What? Yes.
I mean, it's impressive.
Traveled. Went to Mexico twice, did shows, meet and greets, never got COVID. Clearly, Jesus loves me the most. Seriously. So nice. So nice.
Boom. Somebody once told me the world.
Oh my God.
It looked like she faked the fall. It gave me LVP Dancing with the Stars.
She totally fainted.
That did not.
She completely went unconscious. Just
no,
that did not look fake. Yeah.
No, I mean,
like her body
people
even
kind
like
of
quivered a bit.
It looked like the people were kind of like laughing at first, like, "Oh, this is not a joke."
Yeah.
Because as an audience, it's very
first.
hard to know. It's just hard to react to that because you don't realize it's not part of the thing.
The show, yeah.
If I do that,
I
you just grab me by the feet, Zach, and like just pull me gracefully off stage?
I would no. The first thing I thought, I was like, Adam better not pull some shit like this at our show. He better keep it together until the end of the 90-minute show. We worked too hard on this.
And we'll pull you from the arms so your shirt doesn't pull up all over your head weird.
You're just like
pulling you from the feet's no good.
Well, I do hope, because they said that she fractured her skull, but she is back doing her show. I'm sending all the positive vibes to her.
She is, and I messaged her. She messaged back. She said she's feeling much better. So I imagine she has an orbital fracture on the side of her face. These bones are really thin, but they heal pretty well.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, but Emily, she was in the hospital. It was just, it's so scary.
I hate medical anything.
My takeaway from that is she's like, I still get my period. I'm like, girl, go get it. Get it. You're old enough to get your shingles shot and you still get your period. Like, these are goals. You guys are like, what? And I'm like, these are goals. These are like 50-plus-year-old woman goals right here. And I'm loving it. I love Heather. Okay. At least you got to go on Juicy Scoop before it happened.
Yeah. I mean, is that the silver lining in this conversation? Oh.
Well, y'all, I cannot wait to see you in Nashville.
We're so excited.
Sure you're going to wrap up. I'm so excited to get to hang out in person some more. I'm so excited for everyone who gets to come, come hang with us. Like, get in, loser. We're going to Nash Vegas. Y'all are welcome. I'm sure those tickets are going to sell out in a day or two because I'm going to go share them with all the law nerds that weren't on the live today, right now. So,
hey, thank you. Yes,
if you want to get those tickets, make sure you do.
Emily, thank you so much for joining us as always. We love and appreciate the hell out of you. And thank you. We're going to have so much fun. April 13th, come play with Zack and Emily and I. And also, there will be a few other people and surprises. So just get ready.
Don't tell me the surprises. I can't keep secrets. So I don't know what the surprises are, y'all. That's facts. They'll tell me when I need to know.
Okay. We'll tell you when you need to know basis. Emily, thank you so much. And thank you to all of the law nerds for showing up. You guys are the best. Look at all the purple hearts coming in. We love you guys. Make sure you go follow Emily D. Baker because she's the #1 legal commentator on YouTube. And look at that sign in the back. She's about to hit 200K. Emily,
oh my God, I know. We're at 198.
It's ridiculous.
We're in the final stretch. I can't wait.
We're in the final stretch. I love it.
Yep.
All right. Bye, Emily.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Zack, this was a great time. Where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, I thought you were like logging off. I'm like, hold on. Guys, again, really quick.
To go.
Oh God. Turn that off. I wanted to bring this up one last time for you guys really quick. That way I can just show it and you guys can look at it. It's called spillingtealive.com. Make sure you go to Spilling Tea Live. You can scroll down to the bottom. Okay. That's, Zack, and that's probably what this is going to look like. And that's probably going to be my facial expressions when we're going through here, or maybe I'll be Zack. I don't know. But you can go right here in the middle and you can buy in Los Angeles, Nashville, or New York City. When Zack and I tell you it's not, like VIP tickets, those were amazing tickets. So I can't wait to pre-party. Zack can't wait to pre-party with all of you. And our special guests will be at the pre-parties too. But also our shows are going to be so much fun and you will be able to party with us after. It's going to be an entire experience. So make sure you go buy your tickets. We're anticipating being completely sold out by the end of the month or maybe even next week of all 3 cities. So we would love to see you guys there. Buy your tickets while you can because we don't know when we are extending and adding more cities. So in the meantime, Zack, if they don't know, if they're not from the Zack Pack, will you let them know where they can find you?
Yes, I have a channel here on YouTube as well. It's youtube.com/justplainzack. So you can go and subscribe. I release full episodes of my podcast there. My podcast is called #NoFilter with Zack Peter, which is available on all podcast platforms. I saw some of you guys asking about the wine. My wine today I have I'm Ready to Flip a Table, inspired by Teresa Giudice. But we also have Now Tell Me Who Gon' Check Me Boo, I Stole Kim's Goddamn House, and I'm Ready to Mention It All available at nofilterwine.com, nofilterwine.com. And as we mentioned, the wine will be available at our shows for all of you guys on April 7th, 13th, and 28th. So if you want to come and hang out with me and Adam, go to spillingtealive.com.
Yes. People are like, link, please. Promo code. Yes. This is Nashville only because the promo code expired for LA and New York. It was within the first 24 hours of announcing the tickets. And we just announced Nashville today. So for the first 24 hours that the tickets went live, when we started this live, you guys can use code TTIME and it will get you, Zack?
And it'll get you a discount. So VIP, actually it's sold out, but VIP tickets were $29 and it discounted GA tickets to $10. So, I mean, that's a score. $10.
That is a
come
score.
Hang out with me and Adam and Emily. Yes. And yeah, we still have a couple of tickets left for New York and a few general admission tickets left for LA. So be sure if you can't make it to Nashville, definitely hit one of the other 2 cities.
Definitely. Zach, thank you so much for joining me. My camera's actually about to check out on us, and I just got an exciting message that we just got a package. So I'm going to go check out to see what that package could be. And Zach, I'm going live. Guys, we're going live with Dana Wilkie today on her channel. Jason and I will be talking Jersey with Dana at 5 p.m. In the meantime, we'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Bye, Zach. Thank you. All right, guys, thank you to all of our super chats, super stickers. Thank you to our mods. You guys were incredible. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing out the Zach Pack community, the Law Nerd community, the Adams family. We love you guys so much. We will see you in a little bit.